Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I'm making for Arsi as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here on the screen, this is on YouTube, this track from Steven Tyler Slashing Train titled Dream On at the Howard Stern Birthday Bash 2014. So I assume that this will potentially get copyright claimed. Just going to mention it here really quickly. I'm looking to actually do some of my videos differently. They won't be the way that's occurred with my reviewer and patron videos, but I've decided I'm going to try and do I decided to maybe even look into doing reviews of my own favorite songs. And they'll be reviewed differently to this, where they won't have the listening section. These videos will continue to have the listening sections, but I think if I was to cut the listening sections entirely, what would occur is that I wouldn't get copyright claimed, videos wouldn't get blocked, and ultimately I could just sort of have these videos up under fair use, and I think that would be really good. But for these ones, we'll continue to have the listening times, going to listen through this track from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
Howard, what a long and strange trip this has been. Here's to you.
I'm honored, my friend.
Here's
Thank
to you.
Thank you.
And here's to hell. May we have as much fun there as we had getting there. Huh, Howard?
And we'll be there.
People are very excited, as you can tell.
Hey, yeah.
Quite the showman.
Yeah.
A bit of honky tonk blues there. Yeah, nice phrase. Before we get into it, I am surprised and impressed that his voice has held on after so many years. It always amazes me. Like the guy from The Cure as well has an incredible voice. It always amazes me when musicians have a similar sort of timbre and texture like decades after the songs are released.
Every time that I look in the mirror, all these lines on my face getting clearer. The past is gone.
Going for the proximity effect.
Like dusty dawn, isn't that the way? Everybody got the dues in line.
Such a slick entry to the bass there.
Come on, yeah. I know nobody knows where it comes and where it goes. I know it's everybody's sin. You got to lose to know how to win. Yeah.
I mean, such an atmosphere to it. Like with the guitar riff there with the reverb tails and stuff like that is fantastic.
Living, learning from fools and from sages. You know it's true. All the things come back together. Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for laughter, sing for the tears. Sing with
That vocal fry though. I mean, it's great to know that he's found a really safe way, technique-wise, to do that. That kind of vocal fry is incredibly difficult to do, especially as you age, man. Your vocal cords don't stay young forever, you know. They're as much a part of your body as everything else. The drumming is tight as well. That guy's got fantastic technique. He's so intimidating playing with such a phenomenal musician. Or musicians. A little bit of scat, nice. Not totally convinced by that phrase. What?
Dream on, dream yourself a dream come true. Dream till your balls turn blue.
Dream on to your balls. What? What was that line?
Your balls turn blue.
To my balls turn blue? What? I mean, Slash hasn't aged, has he? Beautiful, man.
Happy birthday, Howard. Happy birthday, Howard.
What I liked about that is that Slash didn't overplay. We'll talk about that more in the conclusion, though. I mean, I'm just blown away by that performance, the chemistry on stage. I felt it was a little bit awkward with Slash's guitar entry there. I'm not sure if the phrasing was totally clean. This is coming from someone who could only dream of playing like Slash could. Although I don't particularly like Gibson guitars, you know, hot take potentially, but it'd be less hot if they could stay in tune, or more hot if they could stay in tune, should I say. We're going to talk about the song anyways more in the conclusion. And welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Steven Tyler, featuring Slash and Train, originally an Aerosmith tune, titled Dream On. Now, what do I think this track is about? I don't know. I don't know what it was about. I wasn't really listening to the lyrics. For me personally, this was a track where I think most of the joy I got from it was listening to the actual performance itself. The part where the balls turn blue, I'm not sure, that kind of threw me a little bit. I know that's not the only part. That could have potentially even have been an ad-lib or an improvisation. I'm gonna go have a go at it just so we can move on to the rest of the parts of the conclusion. But my take on this is potentially as like a celebration of life, a calling out to a higher power or something like that. Maybe like it seems like the verse we're talking about being in a dark place and trying to sort of find a way out of that, and maybe like the chorus is about trying to find hope and sing out and sort of trying to remain alive with that passion. And maybe the balls turn blue part is that you hold on, even dream on until like you can't anymore because you have to pass out because you're so frustrated or something. I don't know. That's my take on it. The vocals themselves are fantastic. There's a little bit of a difference between like the studio recording and the live one, but to be fair, that was a long time ago, even at 2014. And Steven Tyler's voice is fantastic. Great, you know, Hinchiest voice technique around the falsetto, the screaming out was wonderful. The vocal fry is fantastic. All in all, a very convincing performance from someone who clearly understands what they're doing and is very effective on stage. And not only as a storyteller, but as a performer. The track at 5:10, you know, it's clearly it's not the entire track. Isn't that there's some talking to Howard as well as you know, like a little bit at the end with like the advert and stuff. But basically, I think the song starts with that piano intro, and then you kind of have the vocals come into almost immediately off the bat. We don't have a lot of filler there, you know, nice little bit of sort of keys and like with the bass coming in a little bit afterwards, and then you know you have the guitar and then the drums. And just ultimately, the song starts to stack really neatly and smoothly until we get to the upper sort of crescendo, that climax where Slash comes in, plays the kind of power chords on top, and has a little bit of sort of cool response with Howard's voice. And then eventually we get to the part where there's a solo section. It's nicely phrased, though. Slash didn't overplay. So if I was to talk about some of the instruments individually, I thought that the rhythm guitar parts were nicely and kindly phrased. They're very sort of respectful to the initial harmony proposed by the piano parts. They don't overstay their welcome. The lead guitar on top, you know, with the mixture of major and minor chords there, the lead guitar on top goes with Slashy's kind of trademark pentatonic kind of bluesy tone there. A little bit of shred there, but nothing more than that. I think that Slash understood that Steven Tyler was the star of the show, and I think Slash held back to allow Steven Tyler's vocals more room to breathe. And I thought that was a really smart move. Typically, you don't want to overplay on someone else's tune. It's just a kind of an ethical kind of thing, you know. It's a let's be friends and not sort of do a big dick swinging contest or anything. So I think that ultimately that was a smart move from Slash, just to be respectful and keep things nice and simple and melodic and fragrant. But yeah, no, the way that he harmonized over this thing riff whilst making his own, regardless of regardless of the minimum, was still good. The bass guitar there, when it smoothly came in the intro parts, was nice and sort of foundational as well. It instantiated a low end with the root notes, and it moved really sort of like sweetly throughout. The piano parts we had at the start, they were tremendous. I thought that the way that we played with left and right hand, nicely synced and intertwined there, it was basically an entire song by itself. It didn't necessarily need everything else. You could probably have that as just an acoustic performance, but Steven Tyler and Aerosmith understood that the song needed to grow for it to be sort of like even more rocky. And you know, even though it had a balladesque kind of like pattern to it, ultimately I think it was the right decision for the keys to remain relatively consistent throughout so that other things could grow alongside it. In regards to the theme, the overall sound of the track, I think that it came from quieter beginnings in the verses due to the dynamic range, but also due to the more sort of like careful, gentle nature of things kind of introducing themselves, and became a bit more sort of bombastic later on when we were starting to sort of like dream on and sort of sing out, and it became very passionate, and like the vocals rose with the rest of the instruments in the mix, and there was just a natural sort of synergy and chemistry between the elements. In addition to that, I think that because of all those things, you kind of get that release when the guitar solo comes in. It's almost like even coming up to that moment, da 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 da, and then you start flying or soaring, and it's just very sort of poetic. And I like the way that the song's journey goes, because you've got like verses and choruses and sort of lead sections, occasionally little sort of instrumental breaks. But that moment and near the end, it just kind of sort of pops off, and then, you know, just it basically ends as it does, and it was really satisfying. And I thought that the track was well phrased and well written, and ultimately the performances were compelling without a note out of place. I thought the studio production as well was nice and tight. Steven's vocals sounded nice and clear and crisp. The guitars, bass, drums, and keys had their place in the frequency spectrum and stereo field without sort of any weird resonant frequencies, without things kind of like occupying things too closely or sort of being a little bit sort of claustrophobic. There was sufficient dynamic range throughout his performance. You know, things were not the same loudness all the time. Steven's vocals were just really magnificent. Like, they didn't need to be, they weren't over processed. Like, there's a little bit of reverb and stuff like that, but a bit of delay maybe, but like aside from that, it's fine. Slash's guitar tone was raw, nice and low without pumping, so the bus compression limiting was handled. I mean, effectively, this is my review of this track from Axe, Steven Tyler, Slash, and Train, their performance of Dream On at the Howard Stern Birthday Bash in 2014, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SC Patrons video. Spiderhands out.